Now, Wednesdays are for women in sport right here, and today we speak to a woman who continues to break barriers in the male-dominated sports journalism space. Tatenda Gondo is a freelance sports journalist covering all sports codes with special focus on women and minority sports. Now, based in Zimbabwe, Tatenda transcends all barriers to bring groundbreaking sports news through the online sports publication SportsRifle. Tatenda does join us now via Zoom to speak about her journalism journey and, of course, the upcoming FIFA 2026 World Cup qualifiers, which will see Zimbabwe preparing to return to the big stage. Tatenda, thank you so much for your time, for joining us here on the AM Report. Perhaps a good place to start then is your journey, being in the male-dominated journalism space. When people think sports journalists, they think men first and foremost, but you have faced a number of challenges in your journey. Just take us through some of them and what it is that keeps you going in that SportsRifle space.
Thank you guys for inviting me. It's really an interesting journey. Of course, we wouldn't want to look at focus more on the challenges that we face. There are many, including obviously people underestimating your knowledge and your capabilities to navigate through the industry. And for me, basically, I've decided to not to focus much on that aspect and do what I do best. And it's quite interesting in the sense that as a freelance, not to take away anything from you guys, as a freelance, I sometimes feel that we do much work compared to you. And sometimes people do feel intimidated and they feel challenged. And it's the will to continue covering sports and doing the best that we can, and obviously proving to people that, you know, I'm a female, but being a female does not limit me.
Well, I'm glad that hasn't deterred you in your journey and you continue to bring us sports news. But let's switch to what the main focus is here. The upcoming 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Zimbabwe back looking to compete again on the world stage. But let's take a step back because, of course, there was the FIFA ban. Take us through the impact of that on, you know, the national team in Zimbabwe and the work that has gone into rebuilding the team and getting ready then for the upcoming qualifiers now that the ban has been lifted.
The FIFA suspension was a painful part for our footballers, particularly the female footballers. Why am I saying particularly the female footballers? They are the ones that are not contracted with clubs that are playing professional league. If you compare that with the men they have more opportunities to play in professional leagues. But for our females, it was tough, and some of them, their way of livelihood, even our league suffered due to that FIFA suspension. There were no funds, and remember, it was like shortly after COVID, so it put us back a little. But since FIFA appointed the normalization committee in July, they've been trying to put things back in order, but they are not exactly in order. They are struggling. But we are grateful because at least our national teams can play international football. Our players can get scouted. Our officials can officiate in big matches and all. But if we then look at the Warriors, obviously their preparations for the World Cup qualifiers against Lesotho and South Africa, there really is much to talk about, but I'll just try and make it brief. So since the normalization committee was formed in July of 2023, they've struggled to appoint a national team head coach. This far, they've appointed 2 coaches, and all of them have been fired, or maybe their contract have expired, which is something they are not clear about anyway, but still it's okay. But a week ago, they recently advertised for a post for a head coach for the national team. So as we speak right now, we do not know the squad that will play at the qualifiers, and we do not even have a head coach. So in as much as preparation is concerned, right now we are still waiting for the normalization committee to appoint a coach, and I understand the interview started yesterday.
So,
So I
Tatenda, let
think
me
after
come in here. So, if you're saying there's no coach at the moment at the helm, who is taking the team through training? Is there any training or any preparations taking place? Because we're talking about qualifiers that are happening early next month. And the other challenge that is faced by Zimbabwe is you don't have stadiums that are approved by CAF. So, those qualifiers against Lesotho and South Africa will be staged at the Orlando Stadium here in South Africa because of that challenge.
Yeah, as we speak, we do not have a coach, and as we speak, no team is in camp right now, or players that should be in camp have not been informed. I understand some federations have already started sending invites to the players that they expect to play in the league in their qualifiers, but for us, it's a different tone altogether. And when it comes to issues of stadium, basically there is nothing much we can do. We are playing in South Africa. Of course, we'll play against you in your home ground, and it's going to be difficult. And we are just hoping for the best. We are hoping that things will change. The government has been trying to fix the stadium issue, but there are so many delays. So as we speak, we don't know when Zimbabwe will actually be able to host a game in their home ground.
So no head coach, no players in the camp. Is there any sense of when the appointment is going to be made or whether or not the side is actually going to be coming to South Africa? Because by all indications, it sounds like still trying to get the house in order, and there might be questions about whether or not Zimbabwe will in fact turn up for the qualifiers.
The honest truth is nothing much on that, unfortunately. We have to wait and hear. Like I said, they started the interview. They say they started the interview yesterday to look for a head coach. So we have to wait. Let's give them a week so they sort the head coach issue out. And most probably when that is done, we can be sure on when the Warriors will be able to travel to South Africa.
And what is the general sentiment then on the ground in Zimbabwe around the Warriors as you prepare for this World Cup qualification? Is there a renewed sense of, well, the team is now back, we passed our struggles, and we're looking forward to perhaps qualifying for that showpiece in 2026?
Mixed feelings. Football fans really want the normalization committee to appoint a professional and experienced coach because they believe that with the current crop of players that we have, we are very much capable of qualifying for the World Cup. So people really hope that if a coach is appointed, a qualified coach, and a qualified coach, if a qualified coach is appointed, then our chances of making it to the World Cup would be as good as ever before.
Let's speak about another issue that's been lingering in Zimbabwean football, that of Mahamba. Initially announced his retirement from international football, then said he was available. And we're also seeing now with him having moved back to Zimbabwe to play for Yada, a couple of incidents on the field of play, a red card just this past weekend that led to his side finishing on the losing end. What is the sentiment around him in the country and perhaps how he's adapted to playing football back in Zimbabwe?
People were excited that Kama Billiard is back playing local football. And we are yet to see the real Kama that we know of. And on the incident of this past week, people are definitely disappointed in Kama Billiard's behavior. It's not something that we obviously look forward to seeing from a professional player and experienced player like him. The fact that you're given a red card and you decide to walk off the stadium, it's not something that you would expect someone of his caliber to show. And more so considering that the ref that gave him a red card is a female, and him deciding to walk out, it doesn't show a good picture on him. And I think also maybe this gives us more explanation on why he might have struggled in South Africa. Because from my own point of view, I feel like there's a lack of maybe discipline, because it's not just proper for him to like walk out on at the field. wasn't
While
proper.
we're on that, and you're speaking about the lack of discipline, can you maybe take us through what had actually happened in that incident? Because there's a lot of speculation, some saying it was a slap to the goalkeeper of the opposing team that led to the red card being brandished in the first place. What was the actual red card incident or offence that led to Kama Billiard being sent off? And secondly, I think you've just confirmed that, did he in fact just leave the stadium without going to the dressing room, without informing his team after that red card was shown to him?
The thing is, he committed a lot of tackles and hard tackles, and the referee ignored some of them. But then when he made the official tackle that got him the red card, he was so furious at the referee. And some even said he exchanged words with the female referee. Not sure what exactly he told the female referee. And I think that is when the referee decided to show him the red card. So it's really not fair on both ends. Even on Kama, as a footballer, you would expect that you respect whatever decision that a ref would have made. It would have been proper for him to then decide to approach the referee maybe after the game and really ask exactly why she decided to give him a red card.
Yeah, well, certainly not something that you want to see in the football space, but wishing you all the best with the Warriors then as they look to qualify for that FIFA World Cup that's taking place in 2026. Of course, those qualifiers will be taking place early next month as Zimbabwe will take on Lesotho as well as South Africa in that group. Tatenda, thank you so much for joining us. That's, of course, Tatenda Gondo, who is a sports journalist with SportsRifle in Zimbabwe.